Okay, yesterday Bolton Wanderers was staring administration down the barrel of a shotgun. Today they've avoided it. Just owner Ken Anderson, who I don't particularly like, has agreed a £4 million repayment to Blue Marble, which is one of the creditors that they owe money to, with interest. He's agreed to repay some money, but that's about as much as we know. There's no transparency in any of this, which I think should be made readily available. No transparency in any of this, and other creditors have apparently agreed to restructure the club's debt of what they owe. This basically delays the inevitable. There's going to be more threats of administration down the line, be it 12 months, 2 years. It doesn't matter. The threat will still be there. But so far, they've avoided a 12-point deduction, and they've avoided a 2-year transfer embargo. So there are some positives. They can still, be competitive in the league, and they can still sign players in January at the moment. But this raises questions to me. There's a lack of transparency in a lot of football's finances. We've seen reports today of lack of transparency in stadium attendance and paid attendance, which I'll do a video on later in the week. That takes a lot of research. There's a lack of transparency in football from top to bottom. Bolton have struggled financially though since they fell out of the Premier League and got relegated from the Premier League several years ago. They've been in administration before, and this summer the players, the backroom staff, went on strike over unpaid bills and unpaid wages and bonuses. So there's been financial issues with Bolton for some time. Ken Anderson is one of those owners that even though he's British, I don't particularly like him. So it says to me that the fit and proper persons test the FA has put out and laid out is a joke, as is the financial fair play rules, which are also a joke. It seems any idiot can buy a football club and completely mismanage it totally and catastrophically, which a lot of these owners have done. And I've seen in the comments section a lot of football fans in general, not just Bolton fans, are really pissed off at the moment with how their clubs are run and how the sport is run, not just in this country but across the board. And this avoiding administration delays the inevitable by a year, 2 years, 18 months, a few weeks maybe. We don't even know, but it delays the inevitable for now. They will be administration talk down the line. If Bolton get promoted, that comes with a massive cash prize fund, be it through the playoffs or through automatic. So there is some prize money to be had. But again, that's a short-term fix, because if they were to get promoted to the Premier League, they've got to spend money to stay in the Premier League, and that's something that Bolton don't have a lot of. In fact, they are lacking, and they owe money to people. The club has no money. The club is broke. They're not the only club. Aston Villa were again in the same position about 3 months ago. Sunderland have also been in the same position as soon as they got relegated. The Championship. A host of other clubs of varying sizes have been up against a brick wall and firing squad when it comes to administration. Threats of. We have seen some clubs liquidated. We have seen what's happened to Rangers and up in Scotland and other clubs in Scotland, including Gretna, going completely out of business. There are clubs up and down the land in the Football League and in the non-league that are financially shot to hell. And the FA, the Premier League and the Football League and the National League aren't doing enough, in my book, to support clubs when they get into difficulty, for whatever reason it may be. I've seen in other sports where the league itself or the governing body will take control of that team until a new suitable owner can be found, and they try and put in place a plan to restructure the debts of that particular team. For some reason, it doesn't happen in football. They're more than happy to make as much money as possible off these clubs, but they don't dish the money back out. It's like your national insurance. So when you're paying your contributions in, when you are ill or you're out of work, you can claim back benefit. Yeah, football has a weird thing where it takes the money, it makes the money, but when the club is in trouble and could use a bit of help, they punish it more. It's a weird system, it's a perverse system, it's a system that's damaging. And again, the financial fair play rules are a joke because, yeah, they're flouted regularly. Man City comes to mind, Wolves comes to mind, PSG. Then you look at the rules governing administration and financial difficulties. We'll deduct points and we'll make sure you can't sell some of your players to make money. We'll really punish you to make it even harder to restructure your debt, because you have no money. We'll make it harder for you to make money. It's a flawed system. I think, and again, and then the fit and proper persons test. You got to look at some of the owners of football clubs right now. You got to look at Charlton, for example, Blackpool, Blackburn, my team. Oh God, let's not go there, shall we? Leeds over the years, Sheffield Wednesday. There's been some horrific owners of football clubs in the Premier League and in the Football League. And even in the non-league, there's been some pretty shoddy ownership that has been allowed to take place. But there we go. Bolton have avoided administration and it's a very narrow avoidance. There's still the cloud hanging around. Their finances have not been stable for many years now, and that's partly down to ownership. It's not the fans' fault. It's not the players' fault. If people want to criticise the players for the wages they're on, hey, if the players negotiate those wages through their agents, the clubs were happy to pay these players that wage. I'm sorry, you can't blame the players for wanting a decent pay. If you look at a rival club that could pay a player twice as much, yeah, no, it's the players' wages is not the fault. It's the running of behind the scenes and various other things. And yes, the players' wages is part of the cost, yeah. But the fact that the TV money isn't evenly distributed, the fact that parachute payments, they're changing the structures of that, there's lots of things that are going wrong. The amount of money sloshing around in the game, it's a travesty that they can't just dip into that massive TV deal they've just made in the Premier League, for example. Because the money's been filtered down, right? No, it's not. It's being kept by greedy, corrupt owners and tax dodgers. But they could they're happy to make the money and avoid the tax, but not happy to actually help out clubs in need. It's pure and simple. But there you go. Bolton have narrowly avoided administration today. And normally I'm very unbiased. I will report what I see, and I may give a slight opinion. But when it comes to things like this, I'm not a Bolton fan. But my God, as I said in the last video about this, I'll be pissed off if Bolton went out of business, because my team Blackburn, we have a fierce rivalry up in Lancashire with the Wanderers, and I'll tell you this now, without rivalries, without fans, football is nothing but a corporate piece of shite, which is what it's becoming, because fans are being priced out, and they feel they're being priced out, and that's known. If you look at the paid attendance and the actual attendance at Premier League grounds, there's a huge discrepancy with the fudging of the figures by the wider clubs to make them actually look better than they actually are for tax purposes. It's a disgrace. But there we go. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have a couple more videos before I go out, because I'm going out in a bit. So I'm going to try and get as much content up in the next hour or so. So please keep your eyes peeled. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you very shortly.